I recorded, thankfully, not too long, but only maybe like 3 minutes or so of this video. Maybe like 2 minutes of this video. And then the AC behind me turned on, and it was really fucking loud. So, trying a new location. I know the light on my face is a little in shadow. Figure if we can update this, upgrade this in the future, get some light on my face. But for now, I think it's a cool location. I'm happy with what's going on. This is right outside my front door, actually. I got a hammock. Been wanting a hammock here for a long time, and I decided to record out here because it's a cool fucking place. If the AC is annoying to you, I'm gonna try to filter it out. I recorded a little bit and listened back to it, and it doesn't seem that distracting to me. So, let me know. Hopefully, it'll be fine. It was fine when I listened back to it. In person, it's kind of loud, but this is a good microphone, so it can filter out some of that. I'm doing fucking well, as I said in the last couple videos. I want to talk today about my money journey because I'm in a really good place with it, and how the things I've learned, as you guys have known for a long time, especially if you've been watching this channel, finances were difficult for me. People say I have a money problem. I say I have a money solution, and that the problem, people say, is that I don't like to listen to other people. The solution is that I decided to be my own boss. I dropped out of college. I was almost finished. Realized I didn't like doing what I was going to do. Wanted to switch majors, but it meant I would have to start all over again, and I just decided to drop out, travel the world, come to Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas, where I am right now. And I don't regret it. It was difficult. It was hard. My parents were paying my expenses at the time, contingent on me completing my degree, or keep continuing to go to college, and then once I got a job, I would pay for myself. But I dropped out, so they stopped paying for me, and I didn't know how to make my own money. Didn't have any work ethic. Didn't have any marketable skills. So I almost was homeless. Actually, I was homeless, and then I was running away from homelessness and barely outrunning it for about a year, and of which 2 days I was actually homeless. I was living out of my car, and then I totaled my car, and then I had to sleep on my friends' couches. It was miserable. And then there was one time where I literally took out a loan to go to a business conference in Lithuania. It sounds like such an entrepreneur story. I took out a loan to go to Lithuania to meet my business mentor and learn from him. And then my uncle, I borrowed like $450 about, to which I never paid back. I still intend to pay it back. I have never paid that back. To get on a plane to Lithuania because I knew a friend who knew a way to get a ticket that wasn't 100% legal, I guess. Don't know if I should admit to that on YouTube, but it's done. It was official, but it wasn't, there was some fuckery involved. And I went to Lithuania. It was actually funny. I was at the, it's fucking crazy. I was at the, what do you call it? Fuck. I was at the passport control, and you need to have a ticket to go out. Because if you're going into a place, you can only go up there. You can only go into the place for up to 3 months, and they're like, "Hey, when are you gonna go fucking home? When are you gonna fucking go home?" I'm used to swearing, like when I'm just talking with my friends, but I'm trying to be more of myself in this. So, I'm changing the way I speak to be more like I'm essentially trying less, which is why I'm stuttering over words and being confusing, and sounding awkward when I swear. But fuck it, I swear all the time. I swear with friends, and I want to be more like I am with friends with this. Anyway, point is, I was at the passport control, and she was like, "Hey, so where's your return ticket?" I'm like, "I don't have it." She's like, "Well, can I see your bank accounts? I want to make sure you have enough money to sustain yourself while you're here." And I'm like, "I don't." But my parent, and this is a complete lie, my parents promised that they'd get me a ticket once I got here. Like, they'd buy me a ticket and they'd sustain me. And she was like, oh, she like looked at me for like 20 seconds, and here I am. I paid like $5,000 for the conference, and I don't have enough money to go home. So like, if they send me home, like, I'm fucked. It's like, it was really funny. She looked at me for like 20 seconds. I could hear my heart beating. I'm like, whatever happens, happens. She's like, stamps my passport. Welcome to Europe. And I'm like, fuck yeah. It's like, my heart was beating so fast because I didn't know if she would let me through. I had like, I don't even know if I had any money to my name. I think my dad had given me like maybe $100 to get a jacket because I went from Colombia straight to Florida because my flight to Lithuania was went out of Florida. So and I stayed a day because my dad lived in Florida, so I stayed a day in Florida while I was there. And then we were trying to find a coat in Florida, but obviously there's no coats in Florida, and it's November, and in Lithuania it's cold as fuck. So I had to go to Lithuania with no coat. What's up, buddy? I had to go to Lithuania with no coat, and then get a coat there. It was really fucking freezing. It was just very difficult. Even like in the airport, it was freezing, and I went immediately to a mall and got a coat. Anyway, point is, I went to the whole resort. The retreat was at a 4-star hotel in the middle of nowhere. Well, not in the middle of nowhere, but it was in like a woody area in Trakai, Lithuania, which is a really cool historical town. And there are these cool little hotel kind of things, and man, it was really cool. It was awesome. We had some great food. I met some entrepreneurs, and awesome time. Talked to them one-on-one. It was very worth it. And then afterwards, a guy and I, we traveled to Lithuania. We traveled to Vilnius, and he was going home. He's one of the guys that was in the trip. We just kind of like hung out a little bit, and I was broke as hell, and he like gave me, I think, $75, just like a little bit to live on. And I was gonna be on the street, didn't know what I was gonna do, and I found this hostel called the €5 hostel, which, believe it or not, cost €5 a night, and that's about how much it was worth. If you think about it, you get what you pay for. Everyone was snoring, annoying, like talking in the middle of the night. Each room was like 10 bunk beds. There were so many people in a room. It was really annoying. Half the people only spoke Russian. Some people spoke Lithuanian. Only a few people spoke English. The food there sucked. I didn't really have any money to get food. It was a very tough part of my life, and I actually have business cards from the €5 hostel that I took because I knew at that moment this is going to be part of my success story. This moment is going to be part of my success story. So it's like, it was tough. Every single moment, that was the thing that kept me going. I'm like, this moment is going to be part of my success story. And this is, by the way, this is after I was homeless in Colombia, which I have, I think, 3 videos I put out on this channel. If you search on my channel for Colombia or homeless, you'll find the videos I talked about that, which was not even, this was right after that. I was still in a shitty situation. I was not much better. And then I went to Latvia, Riga, for 2 months, and the only reason I wasn't homeless was because of a girl I dated. She was one of my favorite girls I've ever dated. I don't like to pick favorites, but she's definitely up there. And she was actually house sitting for her friend, and this is like only like maybe a week after May. We slept together, but she decided that she wanted to do me a solid, and she gave me a copy of the keys to the friend's house. She's house sitting for her because she actually lived like 30 minutes away, but she was in town a lot because she was house sitting for her friend. And her friend didn't know I was staying there. But she was in town for a day, out of town for a day or two, in town for a day. She was a professional singer, and she's pretty well known in Latvia. And she's also like a singer, like she teaches, I think, singing, or I don't know if she does anymore. This was 5 years ago, but she taught singing lessons in like a school, And lovely, amazing girl. And she let me stay in her friend's house. It's just fucking crazy if you think about it. Like, she doesn't know me. She doesn't know who I am, what I'm going to do, what I'm about. And she decides to fucking give me a key to her friend's house. That's a lot of trust. A very generous woman. I'm fucking grateful for her. But that was the only reason I wasn't homeless there. It's kind of amazing. And then she lent me $250 and then bought me new shoes and stuff. Like, I was just that poor fucking... I was poor, man. I was super poor. Like, really poor. But fast forward to today, and this month, I'm on track to make $12,000. I already made $8,000. I have if things go as planned, which I mean, not even if things go as planned, like, pretty set in stone. I have $4,000 more coming, so really fucking grateful for that. I'm not perfect, you know. This is my journey. These are the lessons I've learned, and if you're a person who wants to build a life they love, I'm not perfect. I don't know if I would suggest everyone go through the hardship I did, although I think it really helped me because it helped me learn the value of money and helped me gain an independence in myself. Every single time I take a job, it wouldn't last that long because I hate listening to other people. I'm partnering with another dating profile photo company where they give me shoots. It's kind of like an employee-employer relationship, but also like a partnership. And I like working with them because they're very hands-off. They kind of let me do what I do as long as it's quality, and they give me pointers and tips, and you know, the things they want me to do. They give me like stuff they want me to do, but it's not very hands-on, which I like. So in that respect, I'm happy doing things like that. It's where it feels more like a partnership, but not really happy to be a wage slave. But yeah, so I'm getting tons of shoots a month. This month, there's very few days where I don't have a shoot. Some days I have 2 shoots, and it's exhausting. It's stressful, like I talked about in the last video, but it's very fulfilling, especially now that I have money set aside, like a good bit of money set aside in case things go south. There's a couple videos ago I talked about how important it is to be independent from good situations, and that way you're not super needy. Like, I was super needy about this partnership at first because, and I still am to an extent, because if it went away, I'd be back to where I was, kind of struggling. But now I put money aside, and I'm not as dependent on it, and I'm not as needy, and I'm a little more chill about it. And I don't like freak out every time the guy that I'm working with, every time that he gets a little mad or like wants me to do something, I don't freak out and be like, oh my God, he's gonna let me go. No, not necessarily. And even if he does, I have this money set aside I can rely on. Some of the businesses I tried between when I dropped out of college and when I did, this thing, a lot of entrepreneurs tell you, just throw things at the wall until something sticks, which was my strategy. I knew I wanted to do something that was visual art related. I didn't know exactly what. I love visual art. I love making things with my hands, crafting. So bookbinding was one of the things. One of the first ones that I actually kind of broke even on, or almost broke even, but except for my time. I learned how to bind books by hand after watching a couple of YouTube videos. Actually, when I was staying for like a week in my uncle's office building. He let me stay there. It was one that I wasn't renting out. I was sleeping on the floor. It was really pathetic. This was right after was it right after? It might have been right before. I think it was right before I totaled my car. So this was like September. Yeah, this was like September / October 2016. And I was staying in there, and I learned how to bind books. I watched these videos. I learned how to bind books. I got better and better, and eventually I was making them. I went to Austin. I found this place where it was like a workshop kind of place, and I was making hand-bound books, like tons of them. And every single week I made maybe like, I found that I could do like, in like 100 hours or so, I could make like 15. And I literally mean 100 hours. I'd wake up at 9 a.m., take the bus to go to, which took like an hour and a half, to go to the place. So I didn't have a car, didn't have enough money for Uber. Would work until like 4 or 5 a.m. to take the last bus to come back home. Or like sometimes I would miss the last bus, which was like 11, I think, or 12, or midnight or something, and then I'd wait till 6 a.m. to go home, sleep a few hours, wake up again, go back, and it was grueling. But I'd make about 15 books a week, sorry. And then I got this deal with a gift shop. I would go, and then I went downtown and went door to door to door to see if I could give them my stuff, and they were happy to pay up front. They were going to sell them for 50 and give me half, give me 25. And they only got one order because it took them a while to sell. But eventually they got one order. And then it was really funny. One of my customers that got one of those books actually emailed me later. Like every year she buys like 2 of them. She's like, hey, I want 2 journals. I'm like, cool, perfect. And then she'll get 2 journals from me. But it was grueling. I barely broke even when it came to like expenses. But then, of course, I was throwing away 100 hours a week doing that. It was really exciting and really fun, but it's very grueling. I also went to a market to sell, which took a while. That was one of the businesses I tried. And another business I tried was hand knit hats, which was like a few years before that. But that didn't really work out because every 5 hours I could make a hat, which I could sell for like 30. I sold a couple, but it was very grueling and it didn't really work out very well. But photography, I bought a camera and started taking photos for my own dating profiles, which is why I bought the camera. And then friends started asking about it, and I started doing photos for them. And then somebody was like, hey, how much do you charge? And I'm like, oh, I could charge for this? And then I started charging, and then I started charging more, and I started charging more. And at one point I might go more into depth about that, but, that's my journey up to this point. I'm going to leave it at that for now. I have a lot more that I wanted to talk about, but I think this is a good place to stop, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the rest. Some things I have on this list, more of the businesses I tried, because I have more. The ones I did well, the ones I didn't. We talked about that a little bit. The things I learned along the way, I'll talk about next time. What advice I would give to the person I was before will also be, and then what I wish I would have avoided. I think that's really important, especially if you're trying to build a life you love, and go into a similar journey. What would I have avoided, and that would help you know what to avoid. And spoiler alert, poverty is not something I would have avoided. I think that's an extremely useful experience because it gives me motivation every single day. It's like, well, I don't want to be homeless again. I don't want to do that. Like, I ground myself in that because it helps me know that's what could happen if I don't do my shit. And that helps me stay active. But then I also ground myself in the gratitude for what I have as well, because I'm in a really good place as long as I sustain it, keep it going. I can't just let it go, but I'm in a good place, and I'm really grateful for that. Advice I heard that's right and advice I heard that's wrong. A lot of entrepreneurs out there know what they're talking about. I have some experience. I have so much more to have, but I will say that the stuff I can't comment on, I don't know if it's right or wrong, I'll definitely won't comment on. I might even mention this is something I won't comment on. But some advice I can definitely tell you is right or wrong. And I'll let you know that. That'll all be in the next video. And looking forward to it, man. I think one huge fucking thing for people to do in their life is to figure out a situation that makes them money, that makes them happy. And if you find a situation, most people's situation, they kind of slaves to money. They're like, well, I don't believe I'm worthy of just getting money doing what I love. I have to work for money, and so I'm going to forego my own pleasure in order to get money. I think you can have both. You can be happy doing what you love and making money, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking dating profile photos. I have a bunch of clients I'm about to do. A bunch of clients I already did this month already. And then I have some people who I'm talking to soon and figuring out logistics and getting them set up for a shoot. So I'm really excited for all these shoots coming up. It's a little exhausting. I had to get another backup drive. I had to get another 8 terabyte backup drive and another like portable SSD for when I'm traveling. Because I've been traveling to shoots. I was in Tulsa, I was in Miami, I was in Cleveland, DC. Exciting times in my life, and I'm about to go to Boston for a shoot at some point. Somebody booked me for one. We have to figure out logistics for that, but it's already set in stone at some point. And then I'm going to Minneapolis for a shoot. And then a ton of shoots here in Austin and Dallas and San Antonio and Houston upcoming weeks. One today, actually. One tomorrow. 2 in San Antonio. I think San Antonio. Or maybe Austin. No, 2 in Austin on Saturday. 1 in Austin on Sunday. 1 in Austin on Monday and on Tuesday. It's a lot, man. I have a lot of shoots going on. But this is really fucking exciting. So I'll let you go here. I want to help you learn from my experience. I've gone through so much hardship. Like I said, I was homeless for 2 days, but for that whole year, I was barely chasing it, barely outrunning it. Probably like more like 2 years. Exciting experiences, definitely, you know, what a lot of entrepreneurs talk about. Like I was fucking less than broke, and then now I'm doing really amazing, and that's where I am. I'm at the start of me doing amazing. Yeah, man. So I'm really excited to share my experience with you and help you learn from it, because I don't want it to go to waste. Until next time, my friends, and subscribe if you like. We are almost at 250 subscribers, which will be my next subscriber thank you video. I'm not entirely sure what I'll do for it, but check out my 100 subscriber video if you want. I have 4 videos where I took a teaspoon of hot sauce and then said a fact about myself and did that 100 times. So if you want to, I did 25 each video because it was very difficult to do. 4 different hot sauces that rise in level. So if you want to see me torture myself for 100 subscribers, go check that out. 250, I'm going to do something similar. We'll figure it out what exactly it is. But subscribe, and also I send a email every single week with all new updates and everything. So, or email whenever I release a video. Not necessarily every single week, but you know, it's on a regular basis. Sign up to that below. There's a link in the description below, and I'm excited to see you in the email and subscribing. And if you want a photo shoot, dating profile photo shoot, then hit me up. There's also a link in the description below for that. Ciao.